Max, enough is enough. What on earth are you thinking coming home in the middle of the night? Do you even realize how suspicious that looks? You're practically begging me to think that you're cheating.
Ugh, stop nagging already. It's not like I'm staying out until morning, so what's the big deal? And besides, this time I had no choice.
No choice? Are you seriously saying that?
Riley had a fever. On my way back from work, I had to pick up some things she needed, and that's why I got home late. I wasn't doing anything shady, so just drop it, all right?
Riley? You mean your ex, right? Look, you're a married man now. That is not the kind of thing a married man should be doing. And don't forget, we agreed on this. When we got married, we decided you'd gradually cut back on helping Riley until you were no longer involved in her life.
I am cutting back. Do you think I wanted to just leave her like that? Honestly, I'd rather be there taking care of her myself, but I'm holding back because of our agreement. I'm sticking to what we decided, so stop acting like I'm breaking some huge rule. How selfish can you be?
Selfish? You're the selfish one here.
Oh, for crying out loud, I've explained this to you already, haven't I? Riley and I go way back. Her family was dirt poor, and she's always been physically weak. On top of that, she's timid by nature. You expect me to just abandon her when she's sick and vulnerable? What kind of person do you think I am?
I never said to abandon her completely. I've been more than reasonable about this, considering how long you've known Riley. All I'm saying is that going forward, you need to reduce how much you're supporting her and encourage her to stand on her own 2 feet.
And I am reducing it. What more do you want from me?
Ugh, this is going nowhere. It's the same argument over and over again.
If anyone's repeating the same thing, it's you. And anyway, Riley still needs me, but you don't even need me, do you?
What? What are you even talking about?
Let's be real here. You don't love me, do you? This marriage was arranged by our parents, after all. You're incredibly capable and independent. You don't need a man like me to get by. You're perfectly fine on your own, so why does it even matter if I'm still helping someone who actually relies on me?
You're unbelievable. You know what? Forget it. There's no point in continuing this conversation right now.
Finally, some sense. Look, I'm doing my part here, so the least you could do is show a little understanding.
So that's what happened. I really want to hear your opinion on this. What do you think?
Why are you coming to me with something like this? Isn't this the kind of thing you'd normally discuss with your girlfriends?
I wanted a guy's perspective. And honestly, you're the only guy I'm close to. My childhood friend, after all.
A guy's perspective, huh? Well, I could sort of see where your husband is coming from. You know, men like to act all protective and cool around women. It's just how we are.
So it really is like that, huh?
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's more of a wish or an ideal than a reality. What a person thinks or how they act varies from one individual to the next. And even if he feels that way, it does not give him a free pass to neglect his wife. If he's still acting like this even after getting married, maybe it's time for him to learn a hard lesson. You know the saying, there's no cure for stupidity? If words aren't enough to get through to him, then you might have to take more drastic action. If you want, I could take care of him for you.
No, stop. I don't want to drag you into this. I mean, I know I'm the one who came to you for advice, but still.
Relax, I'm just kidding. Besides, if I got into trouble, I'd lose my job. Not worth it.
But you might be right. He probably thinks he can just brush off whatever I say with excuses. If he does something stupid again, I might have to come up with a way to teach him a lesson he won't forget.
Well, if you're really stuck, just let me know. I'll at least listen to whatever's bothering you.
Thanks, Mike. Honestly, I wish I could just be that delicate, fragile kind of woman he seems to think I am. Maybe then this wouldn't even be a problem.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. You, delicate and fragile? I can't even picture it.
You're not wrong there. If I ever let myself show any weakness, I'd get taken advantage of immediately. That's just the kind of environment I grew up in.
Your husband doesn't know, does he? About how every single one of those bullies who messed with you ended up in the hospital?
That was out of my control. And anyway, they were the ones picking on me in the first place, so they got what they deserved.
Fair point, but, well, I'll just say this. I really wouldn't want to end up working with you on the job. So do me a favor and keep things under control, okay?
Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Madison, about our honeymoon trip tomorrow, I've decided to bring Riley along too.
What? What are you even saying?
Well, it's just the two of us feels kind of boring, don't you think? It'd be way more fun with 3 people.
Don't mess with me. Why are you even bringing up Riley's name at a time like this? This is supposed to be our trip to celebrate our marriage.
What's with the overreaction? It's just a trip. We can go on as many as we want later. Hawaii has always been Riley's favorite state, and I thought it'd be nice to take her there. So yeah, for tomorrow's honeymoon trip, my ex is coming along. 3 people are way better than just me and a grouchy woman like you, so it's fine, right?
Sure, I can't wait for tomorrow.
Great! Looking forward to it!
Mike, please, call me back immediately. This is an emergency.
Whoa, calm down. You're scaring me. What's going on?
Mike, you're off tomorrow, right? You don't have any plans?
Yeah, I don't have work, but...
Good. Then you're coming on a trip with me tomorrow.
Wait a second, what? Isn't tomorrow supposed to be your honeymoon? What in the world is going on?
Well, it's a long story, but listen to me. My husband just decided completely out of the blue that he's bringing Riley along on our honeymoon.
Wait, what? Riley? You mean his ex-girlfriend? What kind of ridiculous joke is this?
It's not a joke, Mike. He's actually serious about it. He said something about the trip being boring with just the 2 of us and that Riley loves Hawaii, so he thought it'd be nice to bring her along. Can you believe that?
Are you kidding me? That's completely insane. Does he even hear himself? Bringing his ex on a honeymoon? Who does that?
Exactly. And he had the audacity to tell me it'd be more fun with 3 people. I'm at my breaking point, Mike. I can't take this anymore.
I don't even know what to say to that. Honestly, Madison, you've got every right to be furious. That's beyond disrespectful.
It is, isn't it? And the worst part is, he said it so casually, like it was no big deal. Like I should just accept it and go along with his ridiculous plan.
Okay, first of all, you're not going anywhere with him tomorrow, and definitely not with Riley. This whole thing is absurd.
That's why I need you, Mike. You have to come with me.
Wait, hold on. You're asking me to go on a trip with you tomorrow? Isn't that going to make things even more complicated?
Look, I don't care anymore. If he thinks it's okay to bring his ex on our honeymoon, then I don't see why I can't bring a friend along. Please, Mike, I really need your help here.
All right, fine, I'll come with you, but only because this whole situation is completely messed up and you shouldn't have to deal with it alone.
Thank you, Mike. I knew I could count on you.
Hey, Madison! Who the hell is that guy?
Who? Oh, you mean him? He's my ex-boyfriend.
What? You didn't say anything about bringing another guy along?
Well, you brought a girl, didn't you? So I figured it's only fair. Besides, isn't it more fun with 4 people instead of 3? Don't forget, we're the ones covering the trip's expenses. So I don't see how you have any grounds to complain. This is a vacation after all. Shouldn't we both be focused on having a good time?
Yeah, I guess you're right, but he's your ex. Don't you think that's, a little inappropriate? Where's your sense of boundaries?
Excuse me?
Listen, guys can be trouble. There are plenty of men out there who don't care about morals or decency as long as they get what they want. A guy who'd tag along on his ex-girlfriend's honeymoon? That's definitely a red flag. He's obviously here because he's still into you. I can't believe you'd bring someone like that along. It's reckless and thoughtless.
Funny you should say that. Doesn't that logic apply to you, too?
What the hell are you talking about?
By your logic, if guys are all trouble and only care about themselves, doesn't that mean you brought Riley here for a similar reason? Are you even aware of how hypocritical you sound right now?
It's not like that with me and Riley.
And it's not like that with me and Mike. So why is it fine for you to bring Riley along, but wrong for me to bring Mike? Double standards much?
I don't know, it's just different when a woman invites a guy.
Nope, it's not different at all. You're just making excuses to justify your actions while criticizing mine. Stop acting like the rules don't apply to you. Look, we've got a flight to catch. Riley's probably already waiting for us at the boarding gate. You better be there on time, too.
What the hell is going on with your ex? He's way too close to Riley. The way they're acting, it's like they're already best friends or something.
Yeah, that really surprised me too. Mike usually comes off as intimidating to people. His face doesn't exactly scream approachable, so most girls tend to keep their distance. But Riley seems to get along with him really well. It's kind of unexpected, but hey, maybe it's a good thing for her.
What the hell are you talking about? Tell him to stop. He's your ex, isn't he? Isn't it your responsibility to control him?
Why should I? He's my ex, which means I don't have any say in what he does. And honestly, the same applies to you and Riley. She's your ex-girlfriend, right? So you don't have the right to tell her what to do either. You're acting so jealous right now, and honestly, it's a little pathetic.
I'm not jealous.
Oh, really? Then why don't you just let it go? I mean, I haven't said a single word about how you've been spending time with Riley all day. Not one complaint. Maybe you could try being a little more mature for once? Mike is looking after Riley, isn't he? He's basically doing your job for you. Why don't we focus on enjoying our honeymoon instead of obsessing over them? Or could it be that this honeymoon doesn't matter to you at all?
No, that's not what I meant at all.
Then leave Riley alone, okay? You're the one who said she had a rough childhood and struggled a lot growing up, right? Well, maybe Mike can be the support she needs right now. After all, he's a police officer.
A police officer?
Yeah. He's really dedicated to his community. He once told me that he wanted to protect the place where he grew up, to give back to the people who helped shape him. I think that's admirable, don't you?
No way!
What's with the shocked reaction? Look, if things work out between Riley and Mike, we should be happy for them. Don't you agree? You did promise me that you'd start cutting ties with Riley once we got married. You're not going back on your word, are you?
I can't let someone like him take Riley away from me.
You seriously don't get it, do you? It's none of your business who Riley ends up with. Neither of us has the right to interfere with her choices, and honestly, if you're looking for someone to blame for this whole situation, you should look in the mirror. You're the one who insisted on bringing Riley along on this trip in the first place. Mike, I promised that I wouldn't say anything about it, but would it be okay if I at least ask you for an explanation? It seems like you've gotten pretty close to Riley, huh? What's going on there? You don't usually strike me as someone who makes friends easily. What's going on? You know, you're not exactly the best at socializing or communicating with people, are you?
Wow, that's a pretty harsh thing to say. What, are you jealous of me or something?
Well, I'm not the one who's jealous here. It's Max who's feeling jealous.
To be honest, I couldn't care less if a guy is jealous over me. And really, when I think about it, this whole thing happening was pretty much inevitable, don't you think? The way things have played out with you, it's become harder for me to talk to you like I used to. And frankly, I don't feel comfortable talking to your husband either. It just doesn't feel right. So in the end, that leaves me here on my own. I came all the way here for a trip, and now I find myself all alone because of the awkwardness. And of course, because there's no one else to talk to, I ended up talking to his ex-girlfriend, and surprisingly, we hit it off much more than I expected. That's how it happened.
I see. We've gotten pretty close in a short time, huh? I didn't expect that, to be honest. I was actually a bit surprised when I saw it.
Well, I guess it's not just me. She seemed to have a lot on her mind, too. She came to me with her concerns, and we ended up talking more than I thought we would. She even vented a bit about things that had been bothering her.
Vented? What do you mean?
Well, it turns out your husband never mentioned the fact that he was married.
What? What are you talking about? How can that be?
Apparently, she came on this trip like she would any other, just as a casual invitation. But after seeing how close you and Riley were, she started asking me what kind of relationship you two had. When I told her you were married, she was completely taken aback. She looked genuinely shocked, so I'm pretty sure that wasn't an act. It was real surprise on her face.
Max, he never told her he was married to me. Why would he hide something like that? Why would he keep it a secret? Was it something that he didn't want to talk about? Something he wanted to avoid?
Yeah, that's exactly the case. I bet he was trying to avoid cutting ties with his ex-girlfriend by admitting that he was married. It's pathetic, really. Honestly, if he didn't want it to get out, he shouldn't have brought her along in the first place.
Did he think he could somehow keep it a secret or come up with some excuse that would explain it all away? What was he thinking? And the fact that he kept his marriage a secret just shows that he's hiding something.
Exactly. There's no other reason to hide the fact that he's married unless he's got something shady going on.
Well, at least now I understand the situation. Thanks for clearing that up, Mike.
Hey, you haven't heard the best part yet. The real fun is just beginning.
Huh?
I told you, right? I was just listening to her vent, that's it? Do you think I'm some kind of saint who's just here to listen to people complain? Well, you'll see. Just wait and see. Once Riley realizes what's going on, I think you'll enjoy watching her lose her cool. It's going to be interesting.
All right, that's enough! You need to stop right now! You're nothing but my ex, for crying out loud! You've been telling Riley all sorts of strange things, haven't you?
What's the problem? If you've got an issue with me, why don't you just say it to my face? This whole indirect messaging thing is getting old. And besides, I don't even remember exchanging contact information with you, so how did you get my number?
Riley gave it to me. She said it was okay.
Oh, so you basically pushed her into giving it to you, right? You convinced her it'd be fine as long as there wasn't anything shady going on between us? Honestly, as a man, you should be embarrassed. You're married, but acting like some immature kid.
What? Don't you dare make fun of me!
I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying what I think straight up. Look, I'm the ex, okay? And yeah, I'm single now, so there's really nothing wrong with me talking to another single woman. And I'm not going to apologize for it. What's got you so worked up anyway?
Why wouldn't I be upset? Out of nowhere, Riley just suddenly told me she didn't want to keep dealing with this whole situation anymore. And you know how Riley is. She can be very direct when she wants to be. You must have said something to her to make her feel that way, didn't you? What's going on here? Am I supposed to be some kind of cult leader or something?
Look, all I did was listen to your ex, and I told her that she should cut ties. That's it. That's all I did.
What? How did it get to that point?
Well, it's pretty obvious, don't you think? When someone's hiding the fact that they're married, it's basically the same as admitting they have something to hide. And your ex was really upset, genuinely conflicted about continuing this relationship with you. She was seriously thinking about ending things. And yet here you are talking about protecting her. What a joke! You didn't even realize what was really going on.
You've got to be kidding me! If anyone's got ulterior motives here, it's you! You're after Riley!
What? After Riley? Let me make this clear for you. I've only ever had feelings for one woman, and that hasn't changed. Not now, not ever. And by the way, let me tell you something. Women aren't just there to be protected. They can stand on their own, think for themselves, and take action. That's what makes them amazing. Strong women are always the most impressive, but I guess that's something you'll never understand.
What are you even trying to say?
I'm saying exactly what I mean. If you don't get it, well, you're pretty much done here.
I don't get it! Just stop saying all these strange things to Riley! Hey, Madison, you need to contact your ex.
Huh? What are you talking about all of a sudden?
I've been blocked by him and now I can't get in touch with him at all!
What? Is this about Mike?
Is this about Mike? Are you serious? I'm not just mad, I'm beyond furious! That guy is ruining everything! I had to tell you this because I'm losing Riley, Madison! It's because of your ex! I'm about to lose her because of him!
What do you mean? Why are you blaming Mike?
Ever since that trip, Riley's been acting completely different. She's been avoiding me, and today she called me out of the blue and said she wanted to talk. When I got to her, she told me to never come near her again. It's like she's a totally different person. This isn't her, and I'm telling you, Mike had to have said something to her.
What do you mean? Mike said something? Mike didn't say anything like that. You're blaming him for no reason.
That's a complete lie, Madison! I know it's because of him. There's no other explanation! Mike must have said something to her that's making her act this way. I'm sure of it!
You're not thinking straight. I told you, Mike didn't say anything to Riley. The one who spoke to Riley directly after that trip was me, not Mike. I'm the one who had the conversation with her.
Wait, what? You had a conversation with Riley?
Yeah, I did. You're really not seeing the bigger picture here, are you? It's not just that Mike spoke to her. You're so caught up in thinking that it's all Mike's fault that you're missing the real problem.
So you're saying I'm the one at fault here? You know, I still don't understand why Riley would act this way. I thought everything was fine, but now it's like she's avoiding me completely. How am I supposed to fix this?
Okay, let me break it down for you. You've been pushing this idea of Riley being the weak woman you need to protect, haven't you? You've been projecting this image of a fragile little girl who needs saving, but that's not Riley anymore. She's changing, she's growing, and maybe you just can't see it because you've been too busy holding on to this false image you created of her. I don't know what's worse, your delusion or the fact that you're blaming Mike when it's really your own actions who have driven Riley to this point.
What the hell do you know about it? Riley needs me. She's not strong enough to live without me. I know for a fact that we don't have any kind of dirty relationship like that, but we're connected, we're close, and we understand each other. You don't know anything.
So you're saying that just because you didn't sleep with her, that somehow makes it okay? Just because you didn't cross that line, it doesn't mean you didn't cross others. You've been hiding your marriage from Riley, keeping your wife in the dark. That's already crossing the line, and you call that not being unfaithful? You need to look at things more honestly. And what's worse, Riley already noticed it. She noticed how you've been acting, how you've been treating her like she's some kind of fragile flower that needs to be protected at all costs. Do you think that's what she needs right now? To be babied and kept in a little bubble? Do you think that's what she really wants from you? I talked to Riley, and you know what? She asked me for advice. She told me she wanted to be more like me.
Wait, what? What the hell are you talking about? Riley asked you for advice?
Yeah, she watched how you and I interacted during that trip. She saw how I handled everything calmly and spoke my mind clearly, while you were just fumbling around, avoiding issues, letting things slide. To Riley, I looked strong, confident, and capable of speaking up when I needed to. And you know what? She wanted to know how she could do that too. She asked me how she could be more like that, but that's not all. I told her, I gave her the tools to become more confident, to speak her mind, to stand up for herself. Riley's changing, and it's not just about leaving you behind. It's about her finding her own voice and becoming the woman she wants to be. She's no longer the girl you've been trying to protect, the one who needs to be saved. She's strong, and that's something you fail to see. So you think this is all because of me? You think Riley's changed just because I influenced her? You think she's somehow been corrupted by my bad influence or whatever it is you're blaming me for? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Riley is changing, but it's not because of anything I said to her. She just realized that she doesn't need you. You're the one who can't accept that. You're the one holding on to some fantasy of her, a version of Riley that never really existed. You've been holding on to that image for so long, and now you can't deal with the fact that she's moving on and evolving into someone else, someone stronger. And you want to know the worst part? You've been so caught up in your own image of her that you didn't even see her for who she truly was. You didn't see that she wanted to be more than just your weak little girlfriend. She's not the woman you thought she was. She never was. She was always more than that. And do you want to know what happened when Riley really started looking at herself? She realized she didn't want to be someone you had to protect. She didn't want to be someone you had to fix. She wanted to stand on her own, and that's why she started pulling away from you.
So what now? Now you're gonna act like I'm the enemy?
I'm telling you right now, Riley's changed, and she's not coming back to the person you want her to be. Now listen to me carefully. It's over. It's over, and there is nothing you can do about it.
Madison, are you okay? Are you all right?
I'm fine, Mike. I'm at the hospital right now being examined. I never thought I'd end up in a situation like this. I really didn't expect to be locked up like that. They kept me in a room, took away my phone, but, I managed to find an old device lying around. It's a good thing I found it, or else I might not have been able to reach you.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't be able to make a call from a deactivated phone, right? But still, using email to get in touch like that is, well, it's hard to believe.
The messaging app wasn't working, and I didn't have any other way to contact you. I'm so relieved I managed to connect through the Wi-Fi, though. That was my only hope. It's a miracle it worked at all.
I'm just really happy that you were able to get through to me. I heard from a little birdie that he punched you, so I decided to bring a senior with me when I came to check on you. I figured if you were locked away, they'd likely try to hide you from us, but still.
Wait, hold on. You climbed a tree to find me, broke the window, and just barged in?
Yeah, I did. I didn't hesitate. You gave me the exact location, so I knew where to go. I wasn't gonna just wait around.
But that was incredibly dangerous. Didn't your senior get mad at you for that?
Oh, he did. I got an earful. It wasn't just scolding, it was more like a lecture about how reckless I was. I smashed the window and just barged right in. I don't even think I asked for permission before doing it. But honestly, at that point, I didn't care. You were in danger, and that's all that mattered to me.
I'm so sorry. I feel terrible for dragging you into all of this. It's all my fault.
Come on, I already told you it's fine. Seriously, I told you it doesn't matter anymore. You still have some tests to go through, right?
Yeah, they're checking my head. I hid it during the whole ordeal, and now they're keeping me for a few days for observation. They need to make sure there's no major damage.
All right, well, just stay still and calm for a bit. You tend to get all worked up and run around before thinking. You need to take it easy.
I'm not a child anymore. Mike, how old do you think I am?
I know you're not a kid, but still, you've always been the kind of person to rush into things head first without thinking it through. Sometimes it's better to take a step back.
Mike, I'm done. After everything that happened, I've finally gotten the divorce sorted out. It's officially over.
That's great to hear. I know how tough this whole situation must have been for you. So what happened with Max?
My parents stepped in and took custody of him. They said they'd help take care of things while I get back on my feet. As for the rest of it, he actually apologized for everything that happened. I never thought I'd hear those words from him, but he did. He agreed to the divorce without any more fuss, and it's a huge relief, honestly.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. You have good parents to help you through all of this. At least now it seems like things are going to calm down a bit. With that idiot getting a criminal record for assault, there's nothing more to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like this nightmare is finally over. But, part of me still regrets not doing this sooner. I should have left when I first saw the signs.
So why didn't you just do it sooner? I mean, you must have been thinking about it for a while, right?
Honestly, I don't know. I guess I just didn't want to seem like I was running away. I kept thinking that if I tried harder, maybe things would work out, that there was something I could still do to fix it. But in the end, nothing changed. I didn't want to just give up without exhausting all my options, Getting married isn't something you just do on a whim, so I didn't want to throw that all away too quickly. I kept telling myself that divorce should be the last resort, only if everything else failed.
I get it. I understand what you were thinking. I mean, when you make a commitment like that, it's hard to just throw it all away. But sometimes it's important to realize when something is beyond saving.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to realize. I always thought that if I could just handle everything myself, then I'd be strong. I thought it was a sign of strength to carry everything on your own shoulders without asking for help. But now I'm not so sure anymore. Maybe there are times when it's okay to lean on someone else. Maybe I don't always have to do everything by myself.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to rely on others sometimes. You can't always do everything alone, no matter how strong you are. But at the same time, there's no shame in handling things by yourself when you can.
I know, but it's just hard to admit sometimes, I've always thought I needed to handle everything on my own. But now I'm not so sure. Maybe I need to change the way I think about things.
You'll figure it out, I'm sure. Everyone has to learn to balance independence with knowing when to ask for help. It's not easy, but it's something you'll get the hang of.
Thanks for saying that, Mike. Honestly, you're always there when I need someone. I don't know what I'd do without you.
You really think I'm that nice, huh?
What do you mean?
Come on, I'm not this nice to everyone, right?
I mean, no, I guess not. But still, we've known each other since we were kids, so you're always there for me when I need it. You're just dependable.
Well, that's true, but I'm not going around helping just anyone, Don't get the wrong idea.
What are you saying, Mike?
I'm saying that I've always cared about you, more than just as a friend. You're not just some childhood friend to me. I've liked you for a long time, and it's not just because of the whole helping each other out thing.
Wait, what? You're saying you like me?
Yeah. I've been thinking about you like that for years. I didn't want to tell you before because I thought you'd avoid me if I did.
You've liked me for that long?
Yeah, ever since high school at least, maybe even longer.
But why didn't you ever say anything? You could have told me a long time ago.
I was afraid you'd turn me away. I saw you pushing that other student away when he confessed to you. I didn't want to risk the same thing happening to me. I didn't want to ruin our friendship by bringing up something that could mess everything up.
I didn't think you felt this way.
I know it's a lot to take in, but now that it's out there, I want you to know. I've been thinking about this for so long, and I didn't want to keep it a secret anymore.
So you're saying that everything you did for me, protecting me and helping me, was because you liked me all along?
Yeah. Every time I've stepped in to help, it wasn't just because I'm your friend. I wanted to make sure you were okay because I care about you. I've cared about you for years, and even now I still do.
Mike, I didn't know. I guess I've lost. You really have been persistent, haven't you?
Well, it's about time, don't you think?
I guess so. But don't go thinking you can just get away with everything because of this, all right?
That's exactly what I'm hoping for. I'm glad you're finally seeing things my way.
Max has been taken back to his parents' home, and his life is now one where he is under complete and strict control. The freedom he once had has been completely restricted, and he's unable to make any decisions for himself. His parents are enforcing a strict regimen, making sure he adheres to their rules, and there's little room for any form of independence. It seems like everything is tightly monitored, from his daily activities to his interactions with the outside world. His behavior, habits, and choices are being constantly scrutinized, and he's living in a state of extreme limitation, unable to live the life he might have hoped for. The reason for his situation stems from the debt he's accumulated due to the compensation and medical costs associated with the disability he caused me. The financial burden has been overwhelming, and he has had to resort to borrowing money to meet the payments, creating a cycle of debt that's become increasingly difficult to escape. It's not just a monetary issue, it's also affected his sense of self, and his dependence on his parents' support has deepened in the process. In this environment, he's unable to make any decisions on his own or escape the control that his parents, particularly his father-in-law, have placed on him. His freedom, which he once took for granted, has now been replaced by a strict, suffocating routine that limits his movements and choices. Max is now in a position where he is essentially a prisoner in his own life, bound by the debts he's incurred and the rigid expectations of his family. The weight of his actions has led him down this path, and the consequences of his past choices are now fully realized. It's not just the financial strain that's affecting him, but also the emotional toll of being under constant surveillance and control, never able to act freely. This is the reality that Max must live with, and it's become clear that he's unable to break free from the situation he's in. The life he's now leading is a far cry from the independence and freedom he once enjoyed. Riley, upon hearing about Max's current situation, expressed genuine concern for me. She reached out to offer her support and let me know that she was worried about how I was handling everything. It was evident that she had been reflecting on the situation, and hearing about Max's plight made her think about how things were affecting me as well. Her concern felt sincere, and it was a reminder that even amidst all the chaos and challenges, there are still people who care about my well-being. Riley's empathy was touching, especially considering the complicated nature of her relationship. Despite everything that had happened, she was still thinking of me and wanted to make sure I was okay. It showed a side of her that I hadn't seen before, a side that wasn't influenced by past grievances or the bitterness that had clouded our earlier interactions. It wasn't easy for me to open up to her, but in that moment, I appreciated her reaching out. It wasn't just about Max's situation, it was about me, and her concern felt like a reminder that there were still some bridges to rebuild, and some things to mend. After talking with Riley, she took the time to apologize again for the things she had done. This time, her apology felt more genuine, and I could see that she truly understood the pain and damage her actions had caused. It wasn't just a simple apology, it was an acknowledgement of the hurt she'd inflicted and the recognition of the impact her behavior had on my life. She had taken responsibility for her role in everything, and that meant something to me. I could see the remorse in her eyes, and it gave me the space to reconsider how I felt about her. After a lot of thought, I decided that I would forgive her. It wasn't an easy decision, and it took time for me to come to this conclusion, but I realized that forgiveness was something I needed to give, not just for her, but for myself as well. Holding on to anger and resentment wasn't helping me move forward, and while it wasn't a simple process, letting go of the past felt like a necessary step for my own peace of mind. Forgiveness isn't always easy, but it's sometimes the only way to heal, and I decided that this was the path I needed to take. It's true that Riley is still, in many ways, a victim of her circumstances. She too had been manipulated and deceived by Max, and in many ways she had been led down a path where she didn't have full control of her choices. It was clear that she had been misled and taken advantage of, and while her actions caused harm, I understood that she was not entirely to blame. Life is complicated, and sometimes people make mistakes based on their own vulnerabilities. Riley had been caught in a web of lies and deceit, and while it didn't excuse everything, it gave me a different perspective on her actions. And so, with a sense of closure, I decided to forgive Riley and allow her to move forward with her life, just as I was trying to do. I didn't want to carry any more resentment, and I believed that both of us could find a way to heal from everything that had happened. This wasn't about forgetting what had occurred, but about moving forward in a way that allowed us both to grow and leave the past behind. On a more personal note, I've also started a new chapter of my life with Mike. We've officially begun dating, and while it's still new and a bit strange for me, I'm willing to give it a chance. Honestly, I had never considered Mike in that way before. We had always been friends, and I had never thought of him romantically. It was hard to shift my perspective, and at first the idea of being with him felt unfamiliar. But as time has passed, I've started to see him in a new light, and I've begun to develop feelings for him. It's still a bit surreal for me, as I never imagined being in a relationship with Mike, but the more time we spend together, the more I find myself liking him. It's a slow process, and I'm not rushing into anything, but I feel a sense of hope that this might develop into something meaningful. He's someone I trust, and he's been supportive of me through everything that's happened. I think that's a good foundation for a relationship, and while it's still early, I'm open to seeing where it goes. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.